What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this one we have, I never seen these Commons British items before moving to the UK. I've seen many UK videos. I've seen many items in the UK. And I'm intrigued if she's going to show us any items that I haven't seen before. But before we dive in, if you would like to support this channel by becoming a member, all you got to do is hit that join button to receive exclusive benefits that I know you guys will enjoy. And without further ado, let's dive right in.
Again, down to electrical codes, Americans are like, let's just put all the electricity into one wet room. That's fine. Electrocute yourself away. Hey guys, welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. I'm a dual UK and American citizen, and I've made a list of 17 household items here in the UK that I genuinely had never seen before moving here. Some of them are kind of specific and you might think, well, that makes sense why she hasn't seen them before moving to a new country. And some of them I think you're gonna be surprised that I had literally never encountered before. So let's get started with the list. Number one is a switch to turn on a socket like this. So if you're not in the UK, this is what a British socket or outlet looks like. And you do have to turn on the electricity to it using the individual switch on the plug. This is not something that we have in the US, or at least that I had ever seen before. Our system was simply that you plug something in, the outlet is always on, as it were, there's no on-off switch, and so you plug something in and it gets charged. Here in the UK, if you forget to actually turn on the electricity to the outlet, you can plug something in and have it not actually be charging, which is better for conserving electricity, but it's not better for an American who moves to the UK and used to forget this. So I would plug in my phone or something and it wouldn't be charging even though I thought it was. So that's something that if you are moving to the UK that you might need to get used to. The next thing on my list
that would suck, but I feel like if I was like so forgetful, I honestly would just leave it on all the time. I would just be like, leave the switch on, or I'll forget. But I do like that about the UK. I do like the fact that you could turn these switches off. I have seen these in other videos, and I just think it's a cool thing. Like she said, you get to conserve energy, which is really dope. And if you got kids, a lot safer.
Is a shaving point, which looks like this and is a type of outlet in a UK bathroom that you plug your like shaver, and like an electrical toothbrush has this kind of charger. It's a different outlet and a different type of plug that goes into it. I had never encountered this before, never seen a different kind of plug to be used in the bathroom. American bathrooms just have regular outlets in them, which is not allowed in the UK, but in America it is. So you can plug in anything you want in an American bathroom. There's no separate style of plug. And so when I first moved to the UK, I'm like, what is this contraption on the wall in the bathroom? And how do I plug in my hairdryer? Turns out you can't plug in a hairdryer into a UK bathroom for safety reasons, electrical reasons. There's a higher electrical voltage in the UK, but in America, again, you want to plug in your hairdryer over the running water? No one cares. Plug it in. So we don't have different outlets in the bathroom, and that is something that I first encountered when I moved to the UK. Next on my list.
Yeah, we do got that. That's interesting. I'd never seen those outlets before. I'd heard no outlets in the UK bathroom, so I like literally thought like nothing in the UK bathroom, like outlet wise. But there's like different outlet for shavers and electrical toothbrushes in this different socket. That's very interesting. That's really cool. That's one that I also have never seen before in any of the videos that I watch. Shout out the UK.
And we're going into the kitchen now, is an egg cup. And I mentioned this in my video about eggs. We typically don't have egg cups as common household items in America.
Agreed.
We typically don't eat eggs this way by doing the kind of like dippy egg and soldiers kind of.
What is it? Is it called a poached egg?
Experience. If we were to have a hard-boiled or soft-boiled egg, we would kind of just put it on the plate or maybe in like a small dish, but we wouldn't have a specific egg cup for it. Again, I'm sure some Americans do, especially if you have relatives or, recent family history from other parts of the world. But your standard all-American family are not going to have egg cups in the house. So that was something I first encountered when I moved to the UK. And then
I was going to say, I've seen egg cups before. Not see egg cups is crazy, but common, definitely not. I've never eaten out of an egg cup, and I think when I watch like UK movies or shows, like when they eat out of these egg cups, I would just be like, I don't know, kind of baffled or confused. But I guess that's why I call it an egg cup, to hold an egg for you to eat. So what they're doing is natural. It's just not natural to me, an American who has never used an egg cup.
Next thing on my list, which is going to be one of the more surprising ones, is a kitchen scale for food, a food scale. Yes, I have seen a scale that you step on with your body.
You never seen a kitchen scale?
But I have never seen a scale that you weighed food with before living in America. So we typically use a different system of measurements, which everybody complains about in the comment section when they comment on my videos saying, why do all American recipes just measure stuff in cups? What's a cup? A cup is an actual form of measurement. You actually buy a measuring cup that looks like this. And we measure stuff in cups and obviously tablespoons, teaspoons, whatever. We don't measure stuff typically in our recipes in weight, in grams and stuff like that. So it is confusing because it'll be like a cup of chopped bananas, but it's like, how chopped are these bananas? Or a cup of flour, and there's a very specific way you're supposed to put the flour in the cup in order to make sure it's not too jam-packed. It is confusing, I know, but I'm just saying, on my list, I had never seen a kitchen food scale. I'd never seen it. I'm not saying Americans don't use it who are better at cooking than me, but in my experience living in the US, I have never seen a kitchen food scale. Now I use it all the time. Do not worry, I have been converted both by necessity and by choice. But I lived for 20 plus years in America, never having seen a food scale in the kitchen. And another
that one I found like really interesting because I feel like food scales can be common in the US. I feel like I've used food scales before. I know a lot of like more fit, healthy people who literally like watch everything that they put in their body, like everything, more than likely use food scales to weigh out foods like properly and everything. I believe a food scale is a great thing to have in your kitchen, just so like the weight of everything, getting recipes right. Everything is correct. You're not worried about anything. Yes, America does use the cup measuring system. When I measured, I didn't even know there was a specific way to like scoop flour for it to not be jam packed. I thought the cup was supposed to be packed, like how much flour you could get in a cup. The chopped bananas, I do agree. How chopped are these bananas? Because if I chop them down a little bit more, I may be able to fit a little bit more. If I keep them in big pieces, you're gonna be able to fit less pieces in here. So I do understand where she's coming at with that. But that's shocking. But she had never seen it.
Very obvious thing in the UK that I had not experienced in the US, and this is partly due to my background because I was born and raised in Florida. I had never seen a radiator like this. I swear to you, had never seen one before. Had no idea how to like turn it on. When people talk about bleeding the radiator, I'm like, what does that even mean? No idea. In where I'm from in Florida, mostly we use air conditioning. We don't really need the heat, but if we do, it comes from the same kind of HVAC system as the air conditioning. So it's like heated air rather than the radiator style. And I just had never been in a house with a radiator. The next thing on my list is I had never seen.
I think the radiators are cool because they go into like separate rooms. And you can heat that room, but you don't have to heat the whole house. So for me, who likes like warm rooms, it likes to be warm, and for my wife who likes colder temperatures, we can have the best of both worlds in that scenario. And sometimes you don't need to heat the whole house; you just need to heat a certain room. And so I think radiators are dope for that. Now I don't know what bleeding a radiator means either, so y'all gotta talk to me in the comment section.
A window like this with a key in the lock. Not kidding. All of the windows that I had experienced in Florida were, I think, what they are called here as sash windows. And you simply, there is like a little latch, but it just goes up and down. It slides up and down.
Oh, yeah.
There is not a specific key to go in the window. So when I first moved to the UK and discovered windows with keys that went in the locks, it was a very different experience. Now, I've mentioned this in another video, but I don't love the key type of windows. I have to say, I prefer ones that just have like an easy latch that you can just open, not worry about losing the key if you've locked the window or something like that. I'm sure it's better for security, but I was just always used to windows that you simply had a little latch on the inside that goes up and down. And on that note, the next thing on my list,
well, I feel like for like key windows, can you not just like leave the key in the thing at all times? Like, will the window lock with the key inside, left inside of it? If it'll stay locked, then key windows wouldn't bother me. But yeah, if I had to take the key out each time and then find the key, put it in the window, it would get annoying. Or I just put the key on the windowsill, something. So I don't think the key windows would really bother me. It is a very fascinating concept, like putting a key in the handle for the window. I hadn't seen that one. That's new to me.
I had never experienced a set of windows that had a smaller one that you could simply only open that one. So
that's cool.
I just was used to big, kind of like single pane windows. Yeah. It is what it is. It's just like a giant piece of glass that can go up and down. Whereas here in the UK, I've encountered so many different types of window configurations, and mine and a lot of others that I see have this like tiny window, so you can open the tiny window to like let moisture out of the house or to get some airflow in without opening the whole window. But having just like a little tiny baby window as part of the bigger window frame is definitely something that I hadn't seen before moving to the UK.
That's
okay, the
cool.
Next thing on my list that I had never seen before is a vacuum cleaner with a face on it, namely Henry the Hoover. Now, he is popular in businesses and in homes, so he's definitely like a solid industrial kind of like business cleaner as well. But you could definitely have one for your house, a Henry the Hoover. He's adorable. I mean, it's a vacuum cleaner with a face. I'm sold. I don't currently own one, but I'm debating about getting one to do a video about Henry the Hoover. So if you think I should do that, comment down below. The next thing on my list...
Shout out Henry the Hoover. I've seen it in different videos. No, never seen it up close and personal. But putting a face on a vacuum, genius. Gives the vacuum a personality, character, charisma.
That I had not seen before moving to the UK is a combo washer and dryer. So if you're watching this from outside of the UK, and particularly from like outside of Europe, you might be surprised to know that there exists such a thing as a combination washer and dryer. Had never experienced this in the US. We just have bigger homes typically, and even like in a small apartment, even though I had lived in smaller places in the US, we would typically like go to the laundromat or go to like the laundry services within the apartment building. So maybe you didn't have it in your apartment, but you weren't going to have like a tiny combo washer dryer in your apartment or in your flat. So experiencing this for the first time was definitely very confusing. I was a student in London and we were like looking around the flat trying to figure things out, and we're very confused as to whether it was a washing machine or a dryer, because we thought it had to be one or the other until we realized that actually it did both. The next thing on my list that was new to me...
I feel like I've seen them before, never in person, but like I knew that they existed. But I mean, that's really cool to get a washer dryer combo in one. That's dope.
When I moved to the UK are separate taps. So mixer taps that look like this are the most common in the US and were the most common where I grew up. I really don't think I had ever seen a separate taps or faucets, as we would say in the States. So hot being on one side, cold being on the other. I have covered this in other videos, and there are lots of funny memes on the internet about like how to decide whether to use the hot or cold and how to mix them without scalding yourself or being freezing. This is just something I wasn't exposed to in the US before moving to the UK, and they're not all over the UK, depending on like when the building was built. So I don't have them in my house now. I'm actually just trying to think. Do I? No, I don't. But like if you go to an older building or a pub or something, it's very common sometimes to have these separate taps here, which I had never seen. The next thing on my list...
I've seen that in different videos. That's just a very interesting thing about the UK. But like you said, older buildings are more likely to have them more so than modern buildings.
Is a hot water bottle. And the first time someone said hot water bottle here, I was just thinking about a water bottle that they would somehow make hot. No, that's not it. This also, again, has to do with being from Florida, where it's very hot anyway, so we don't necessarily need help there. But I had just never seen this item, which is a hot water bottle. So you actually fill this like rubber container with hot water, and then it has a covering over it, and people just like cuddle up with it or put it in their bed at night when it's cold in the UK. And this is just something I had not been exposed to, and now I own two. The next thing on my list,
hot water bottle, going on the Amazon shopping list. That's a necessity. Didn't know that existed. That's really dope.
Is I had never seen carpet in a bathroom before moving to the UK. And this is something that is not common in the UK nowadays, from what I can tell. But I have definitely been in older homes, like grandma era homes, or like a grandma lives there and hasn't updated it in a long time kind of home, where they have carpet in the bathroom. Possibly this exists in places in America. Again, I'm not necessarily blaming the UK for this weird practice, in my opinion, but it was something that I had never seen in any home I had been in America. And in the UK, I've experienced it a couple times. To me, this doesn't make sense. To me, the bathroom is the last place that you would want carpet. So if you have carpet in your bathroom, someone please explain the reasoning. I think there's multiple obvious reasons why this would not really make sense or be a good idea. Though I do love carpet, and I prefer, fun fact, carpet over tile and hardwood flooring. So I'm on board with carpet as a floor covering. I'm just not on board with carpet in the bathroom. And I have seen it in a couple of houses in the UK. So again, someone please explain, if this is you, how that happened. The next thing on my list...
Yeah, that's got to be like an older house thing. I assume it has to be, because carpet in bathrooms is such a crazy thought to be like, yeah, that's the last place you're going to want carpet, I would assume. The very last place is in a bathroom. So yeah, that has to be definitely in like the older houses, I assume.
And a very obvious one people mention all the time, so we're gonna mention it and then fly right over it, is, yeah, I had never seen an electric kettle before moving to the UK, and I know I even say the word kettle weird, according to most Brits. Had never seen it. I had seen ones that you put on the stovetop, but I had never seen one that you plug in before I moved to the UK.
Seen that in many UK videos.
Next on my list is I had never seen an airing cupboard. And an airing cupboard, for those not in the know, is within the home, like a small, well, it's not small, it's large enough to hold the boiler, essentially, within the home. But then there's usually some shelves, so there's like a small amount of storage within the airing cupboard. And I have extended family members here who I know would like store some clothes in the airing cupboard, or maybe they used to like dry clothes in the airing cupboard. Essentially, it's a cupboard with a boiler in it. Our boiler in the States always used to be in the garage. Like, we'd have a large garage, and so it was always just like outside in the garage, not in any type of cupboard, and not in the house. So that's something that I had never experienced before. The next thing on my list...
and I have seen one like inside of a house, but there was never like room in there to like put like shelves and actually store things inside of it. It could only contain the boiler. Like, that is very interesting. That is very new. There's a lot of British things that I'm noticing in this video that she hasn't seen, that I also haven't seen in any other videos. Nobody's really pointed out. That one's really cool. That's making the most out of the room you got. That's what that is.
This is the washing up bowl. I had never seen a washing up bowl in the US. It wouldn't really have made sense in the sinks that we had. We had like garbage disposals, and it just wasn't the way that we like did dishes. In the US, I know that washing up bowls potentially have been in homes in the US. So again, I'm not saying this only happens in the UK, but in my experience, I personally went 20 years without ever seeing one in the US.
No.
So I moved to the UK and wondered why everybody had an extra sink within their sink. Again, there's a long history of me questioning washing up bowls on this channel, so you can go find my thoughts in other videos. I don't like them. I know a lot of you do. But for the sake of this video, let's just say, like it or not, I had never seen it before moving to the UK. And for my final...
I've never seen it either. And I feel like in America, I guess, I don't know. I'm sure they have them in the UK. Like, don't you just got, like, sink plugs? You can plug the sink and then fill it up and use the sink to, like, wash. I don't know. That's... Somebody in the comment section, like, the use of washing bowls, why that over just, like, plugging the sink and filling the sink up and washing dishes that way? Why do you prefer a washing bowl? I feel like they're not necessary, but I feel like a lot of things aren't necessary that people use all the time, so... Y'all talk to me in the comment section about that one.
Final 3 items. We are back in the bathroom, loo, toilets, whatever you want to call them, with some other things I hadn't seen. So I hadn't seen a chain or a pull cord to flush a toilet before. Had never seen that in my life.
Never
I've
seen it
them
in
now
person.
in, like, again, I keep thinking of like an old timey like pub that they might be in, to actually like a chain to flush a toilet. And equally, I hadn't seen the pull cord to turn on and off the light in the bathroom. Again, down to electrical codes, Americans are like, let's just put all the electricity into one wet room. That's fine.
Yeah.
Electrocute yourself away. But here in the UK, there's some different standards. So I had never seen a cord in the ceiling to turn on and off the light. I also hadn't seen the dual option toilet flush button in the US. I had only ever seen like a what would you call it? Like a handle, like a flushing handle. That's honestly, there's a small possibility that I had seen like a button push flush for a toilet in America, very small. But even if I had, it wouldn't have been the dual type where you get to choose your level of flush, because I remember getting to Heathrow Airport the first time I ever stepped foot in the UK, and I took a picture to send it to my friends back home to be like, A, I don't understand what's happening. B, look, I'm in a foreign country. So the multiple options when it comes to toilet flushing was new to me in the UK. And the final thing I had never seen before moving to the UK is this style of electric shower. I lived in a flat share, or it was a house share actually, in London years and years ago that had one of these, and I was very confused as to what was happening. I knew that it was the shower, but it was just strange to me that it was like this separate box that I needed to turn on. I was always used to the more standard type of shower that looks like this, so experiencing that for the first time was new for me when I moved to the UK. Now that brings me to the end of this video. Comment below and let me know what was most surprising to you that I had never seen before moving to the UK. I would love to hear it, and things that you might have experienced when going to a new country when it comes to maybe household items that were new to you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I feel like a lot of that information was interesting in terms of, I've never seen a lot of that stuff either. The dual flush, I have seen it here in the US, very rare. Haven't seen it much at all, very rare. I think that's incredible in the UK because you get to preserve a lot of water. Here, we waste a lot of it. The electric box for a shower, no, never, ever seen that. That's interesting. Like, that's cool. What else? The switch in the bathroom, like maybe like movies or shows, like I'd seen that, but never in person with my own eyes. I've never hit a switch to flush the toilet. So that's, I don't know. A lot of this stuff is cool, but a lot of this stuff is just like, because the UK is a country that's much older than the US. A lot of these things exist that don't exist here because we're just too young to have it here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Are there more things that you think would absolutely blow my mind, knowing that y'all have there that you don't think I've ever seen before? If so, drop it down in that comment. Please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and check out that next one. I'll see you guys next time.